Party time.
Shocking rules, right?
Oh shit! Oh fuck me dead, man. Those tyres are fucked now.
What gear?
Which is, because we're on 28 PSI, the matte bar in this is 30 PSI, so if it spikes like, which it will, it'll spike 2 PSI, it'll go overboost. I need to put a bigger map sensor in. I forgot we're in just rear-wheel drive. I can't do anything, man. Oh, she ran out of fuel.
No way.
Yeah. That's why it cut out. And again. Fuck, we're out of fuel.
They would have been like, holy shit.
I can smell coolant.
Yeah.
You gotta be kidding me.
No, what's happening? Nothing.
Oh,
What the?
where's it all gone? So nothing's actually hot, like everything's
Yeah.
reasonably cool.
Is it just the turbos?
Well, the turbos are always going to be hot. That head down in there is pretty warm. See, like even the cap, it's only 44 degrees. Inlet manifold, all that's cold. It gets a little bit warm down there. I see they're 180 degrees, which is fine. That's normal. I just want to check the coolant lines coming out of the turbos to make sure the turbos stay cool. So we were sitting at 76 degrees, did a run, and it went straight up to like 80, 90, and that's because it just dropped all its coolant out. Luckily, we were literally 200 meters from the workshop, and we gave it like a little bit of throttle, shut it off, and we rolled all the way back here. We just went for a drive in two-wheel drive, and I'm pretty sure Angus needs to change his undies.
I think I made him shit himself.
I think he just shit himself.
It's incredible, like 640 horsepower straight to the rear wheels in a little light car. It's just so much fun.
It was
crazy. Yeah, it was awesome. So, and then actually what we did do is we went for a bit of a spin tonight because the car's been going that well. We thought we'd do a bit of night driving. I haven't done that before. And thanks to you guys in the comments, we bumped up the launch control, and instead of sort of riding the clutch and letting it slip, we just let it go, let it have it, and first, second, third, and you just like, you forget where you've just been. It's incredible. They are such cool cars, guys. So yeah, let's it looks like we're going to be doing a little bit more work to the RB before we get to the Sylvia, but that's RB life. Done a compression test, pulled all the spark plugs out, checked them out and did a compression test. So unfortunately I have found something. It is unfortunate, but I'm glad I'm onto it now and not before it's too late. So when I pulled the plugs, I noticed something quite obvious. So here's plug number 1, which I'll show you. Nice and clean. Got nice white tip, very clean. All of them are the same, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, till we get to number 6, which is obviously, as you can see, it's quite black and dark. It has been working. It's not completely rich or choked up, but it definitely has been working, but it's definitely not as good as the others. So this is the suspect one. Let's have a look here. Number 6 has got massive leak. It's 80 to 90%. The rest have got 5% or even 10%. So there's either cylinder rings. I don't think it's cylinder rings. I can hear it breathing back out the exhaust valve into the catch can. So a bit annoying because I just had the covers off, as you would have seen in the last episode. So I'm gonna have to pull those valve covers back off and check the lash again, which I have checked recently. So this is where we're at. We've decided to drop the motor out. It's I'm not far off getting it out. The reason I'm pulling it out is I've got a funny feeling there's a Welsh plug has popped out at the back of the head, which is none of my doing at all. So I'm going to take the engine out the same way I've always done it, which is undo all your fixing, all your accessories, all your lines, coolant, fuel, electrical. There's quite a bit to it. When in your head there's not a lot, but when you start tinkering around there is. Tail shaft needs to come out. I'm leaving the gearbox on the engine, and I'm going to undo the subframe and drop the whole thing down with the hoist going up. That's the standard way you do it. That's the way I've always done these engines. Probably going to tidy up a few things. It's a good chance to go over the car and do anything that was rushed last time, which there wasn't a lot, but there is a few aesthetic things I want to do. So I want to replace like the overflow bottle, which is quite, it looks old compared to everything else, especially when you look how good the engine looks. The washer bottle, windscreen washer bottle, will need to be changed, and there's a good possibility that we may strip it completely, put the new Frenchie's Performance Garage air conditioning system on it, which is a new AC compressor, new condenser, new lines, AN lines too, which is pretty cool for air conditioning. And yeah, we may get this whole thing painted OEM Plus, which will look fantastic. Hopefully there was no issues with the coolant that's dropped out the back, but we're about to find out what exactly has happened. Okay, so the engine's out, obviously, dropped him out onto the ground. Everything went pretty smoothly. It was nice and easy. As I said, it took 6 hours to get it out. Last time it took 4 or 5 days before it was all done up like it is. There's a few things I want to change while it's out. There's a couple of coolant lines I'm gonna change to hard lines at the back. So the way I've done this, we've deleted all the water lines underneath to tidy it up, as you can see. I'm going to change this coolant line here to a hard line, and this one here, which I actually thought was the issue when we lost the coolant, I'm going to change that to a hard line too. Now, unfortunately, something has gone wrong. It's completely out of my sort of control. When I got the cylinder head done on this engine, I sent it away to the cylinder head shop, who fitted the cams and the Kelford springs and the shims, and it was pretty well come back all shimmed up, ready to go. Was crack tested, acid dip, shaved, all the good stuff. When it got back, I noticed that the plugs in the top of the head looked like they hadn't been changed. So these ones down where your spark plugs go, there's some screw-in plugs down there. It's a bit hard to see, but also there's a Welsh plug at the back of the head. Now, when I got the head back, I noticed that they hadn't done the plugs. It looked like they were old. So I called my engine guy, who sort of assured me that if they needed to be done, they would have done them. So obviously I thought it was okay. Now, unfortunately, at the back of the head, right about here, we've lost a Welsh plug. So obviously when the head was cleaned and acid dipped or in the hot wash, it's obviously loosened the plug. They normally don't come out. If a Welsh plug's been in there for over sort of 5 years, they never come out. Often, sometimes they'll rust out, but if you've got rust inhibitor in your coolant, they should never come out, and they shouldn't come out once they're glued in. So something's gone wrong there. It's nothing we've done. what I need to do now is hopefully we don't have to pull the head off. Hopefully it's just this, and yeah, go from there. But yeah, unfortunately that couldn't be in a worse spot. We still had to drop the motor to get to it. Shout out Frenchie's Performance Garage for the LS1 alternator kit. It's such a good kit. When you actually see it on an engine out of a car, it's pretty cool to see like this. He numbers all his alternators. Like this one is number, what is it, 234, which is pretty cool. And it's a Mitsubishi core. It's not a cheap brand alternator, and you can see how the bracket works around the back there, which holds it straight. Like there's no movement in this alternator at all. I'm glad I've got the motor out and I've found the problem, and I can't wait to have this thing back on the streets. We should have it back on the street, I would say, by next weekend. Peace out, guys. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. You're going to see a lot of Skyline stuff on the Nori Factory channel, so stay tuned.